Hey, everybody. I'm Charli, the founder and CEO of Empowering Pumps and Equipment. I am here today with some amazing people from the Fluid Sealing Association, and I'm just excited. I love this association. I grew up here, and it's just so much fun to see how it's grown and really makes a difference for our industry and our world. Fluid sealing products, they're in everything. I mean, we can talk about that, but it's definitely a part of our equipment. We have to have it to make it work. But we also, some of the things that you don't even think about that protects us from emissions. We also have really amazing conversations about that at the Fluid Sealing Association too. So without further delay, I'm going to kind of go through this amazing panel that I have and let them introduce themselves and kind of tell us a little bit about their experience. We're going to start with Amy Hammarstrom. She is amazing. First of all, she's been planning many programs for the FSA for years and years. But Amy, I'm not going to spoil your thunder here. I'll turn it over to you. Just introduce yourself and kind of tell them about the FSA and its mission.
Absolutely. So I'm Vice President of General Rubber and EFOX Lexter Mater, but I'm also the current president of the Fluid Sealing Association. We just celebrated our 90th anniversary at the Fluid Sealing Association. Member companies are involved with production and marketing of a really broad range of fluid sealing devices, mostly targeted to the industrial market. We have compression packing, expansion joints, both ducting and piping, gaskets, mechanical seals. We include membership for companies from all over the world, Europe, Central, South America, mostly concentrated in North America. But our members account for the majority of manufacturing capacity for fluid sealing and containment devices. So super excited to be here and with this great panel.
Yes, and if y'all missed that, she did say she was the president of the Fluid Sealing Association this year, which I am thrilled about. It is one of my favorite things that happened. So, okay. Sylvia Flegg, if you will join us now and kind of introduce yourself. I've known and worked with Sylvia for many years now, and she is a wizard when it comes to all things marketing. Sylvia, go ahead.
Hi, yes, I am the Global Marketing Manager for Triangle Fluid Controls under the brand of Durlon Sealing Solutions. So we have many locations all over the world, so it keeps me busy making sure that I can market to all those different targeted areas. I came on board with the FSA, I believe in 2018, and since then, I've been working on the marketing as well as the social media.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. And we have Kathy Johnson, who is also part of our Empowering Women in Industry Steering Committee. So I get to talk and hang out with Kathy on two association fronts, if you will. Kathy is an engineer, and I just love her perspective and kind of how she's gotten involved over the last couple of years with the Fluid Sealing Association. So Kathy, if you'll join us and introduce yourself.
Yes, I work with John Crane as a mechanical engineer, specializing in packing and PTFE items. I was introduced to FSA by some outstanding mentors at John Crane that introduced me to FSA, had me participate in a meeting maybe 4 or 5 years ago. It's been very enlightening to learn the different companies that also participate in some of the things that John Crane does. I'm presently the compression packing president for FSA. I participate with the gasket technical division as well, and I participate with the PFAS steering committee that's looking for alternatives for PFAS items that are no longer going to be in existence for companies.
Thank you, Kathy. I am so many things there. It just made me think of, right? One is my own personal journey. You're reflecting on that and seeing that we did have mentors that basically pulled us along and said, hey, we see something in you and we want you to participate. I know Sylvia is there for sure, from one of my mentors as well. And so I'd like to hear a little bit about that, just kind of from all of us on that personal development journey and what that's meant from the FSA perspective. Amy, I saw you come off mute. I'll let you go.
Well, I think the one amazing thing, and there's many, but the one that stands out along those lines is the Fluid Sealing Association is very much about involvement. So whether you're a new member or you're an existing member, but maybe multiples from a company, you know, they really push involvement in a comfort zone that you're in. So in Sylvia's case, we have a marketing committee. And so obviously that was a great fit for her. And from that, you know, she was able to grow into, you know, bigger roles. But it's not limited. I think early on, there was a lot of technical focus, and there still is, but everybody on there had other interests. And so by pushing those other interests and giving an avenue for people to participate, that's what allowed for the growth, I think, versus trying to push people into a certain direction and saying, well, you must be on a technical committee, even if that's not really in your wheelhouse.
Absolutely.
So I think that's what made the big difference.
Yeah, I agree with that because, you know, when I was there as the marketing chair, I really loved the technical committees. I felt like I learned so much. I loved the one that was strategic planning and getting involved with government affairs. All of that was just so interesting and new. And so you felt like you were growing, just if you were just learning, you know, something new at each meeting, not that it affected my work, even though it did, you know, but it just helps you grow as a person. Sylvia?
Yeah, I actually, I came on board, when I did come on board, sorry, I pretty much followed the mentorship of Chet Norton and Mike Shorts and Mike Boyd in the gasketing committee. And because I was so new to that, I felt a little bit out of place at first, thinking, okay, I've got to really understand these processes of gasketing in order to really participate in a meaningful way. So I was trying to work that in, but having my marketing background made it so easy to fit into that group right away. So yeah, I'm learning every time. The more gasketing meetings I attend, the more I feel empowered to just speak up and say things, because I have learned a lot along the ways since then. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot of different divisions that, like you mentioned, that are really interesting.
Yeah, I think the big picture, when you go into an organization, and I remember these words, you get out of it what you put in. And so when you show up and you work, and that's really with anything, and you learn these things, there are opportunities that present themselves. And whether it's at one committee or having a conversation there that leads to growth within the marketing. So I think of Sylvia most recently because it's such a similar journey with, okay, what are we going to do with this website so we can get messaging out there? I think all marketers can relate to that. That's kind of like, that's the starting point. But even some things that I knew we needed to do, I didn't push for where you pushed for, right? And so I think it's the understanding and the growth and the experience that each and every one of us brings to the table. And we've grown so much in the last, I don't know if it's 15 years. I know it's 10, at least 10 since I was a part of that. And Kathy, do you want to comment a little bit about kind of being an engineer in the organization and how you're plugging in?
And a part of the packing and PTFE divisions at John Crane as a mechanical engineer. I really want to give tribute to Doug Bolton. He recently retired John Crane. He was one of the individuals that pulled me to the side.
Kathy, I didn't get to hear.
Doug Bolton. He's from John Crane. He recently retired. I just wanted to give tribute to him for introducing me to FSA. He's been a strong leader during his time at John Crane for me, a great advisor, a great mentor. And along with coming on board FSA, I was able to meet Henry, who helped me with some leadership roles and getting to the next stage of compression packing vice president under Ron Prashad, which is like another great mentor for me for FSA. He's always been there to assist me and give me guidance and advice regarding the packing and gasket divisions. He's one of the reasons that I'm the compression packing president now. I thank Ron for his motivation and leadership for that, and just have learned quite some different things regarding packing, just talking with the other companies that participate with FSA. It helps us all together go back to our base and bring forth improvements, new suggestions, new ideas. And yeah, I just want to thank those individuals along with Mark Savage, who's a part of John Crane also. Those individuals have been very instrumental.
Thank you, Kathy. I'm just smiling because several of those have been such a great inspiration to me and mentorship to me as well. I wanted, just for Doug, I hope he does get to see this. I remember going through and touring the John Crane facility, and I just remember that was the time that I met him. And so that is also a benefit, right? Getting to know these manufacturers and how can we work together at each meeting. So Amy, I know that you help plan a lot of our meetings for the Fluid Sealing Association, and you've done it for years. As long as I can remember, you've been on the programs committee. Tell us about that and kind of what I'd like to talk a little bit about where you see it going, because I know you're growing and changing a little bit of the program too.
Yeah, so it's definitely evolved over the years. We've always kind of focused, and when I say it's a small group, it's a smaller group than when you think a lot of big associations. We don't have 500-600 members. So what we try to do is we try to look for locations that accommodate our membership base, both location wise, being aware that time is precious in travel. But we also want to go to places that are, interesting. There is some downtime where people can stay on. But in looking at the actual program, one of the big pushes we made, and you'll remember this, Charlie, is I think a lot of the committees didn't meet regularly. They weren't part of the regular program. It was really focused on technical only. And so we made a conscious decision to add a day, in essence, to the program so that all of the ad hoc committees and standing committees could have a meeting time and a space to meet in person and really move things along. And I believe marketing was the very first ones to have that standing meeting. So, that was one of the first steps we made, gosh, and it's got to be 10, 12 years ago at least. So then in more recent time, and I think one of my goals for this year is about member education. So we do such an amazing job of providing education to the public, to our consumers. But we haven't focused as much on internal education and not necessarily, when I talk about technical, it just could be on industry matters. It could be on regulatory affairs. It could be just on, items of interest to the group. So that's kind of the next step that we're going to be taking in the program side. And it may even not even involve an in-person meeting. It could be a webinar, or it could be something like this, even where it's a guided, meeting where people can ask questions, meet with an expert. So that's really our next step in membership enhancement that we're going to try to build into the programs going forward.
Awesome. And I love that. I know we've had some amazing speakers. The Government Affairs Committee is super strong and all of the work that they've done. And definitely the PFAS has been a task force, if you will, that has gotten together, meeting with the governments and really we're the experts on fluid sealing products. And we're going to be the ones that help solve this issue. And so we're talking to the right people. And so if you want to get involved with that, I highly recommend it. We need all the great minds to come together. And so there are many, many aspects of industry happenings. I love that. You know, what is it that we need to know? And that's definitely one of them. But it spans across kind of oil and gas and petrochem and you know, thinking of emissions and how you can control that. But we also have plenty of applications in water and other places that, you know, sealing devices are used. And so y'all, as we move forward, I just want everybody kind of who's listening to this to make sure that they check out the Fluid Sealing Association. Beautifully enhanced website, lots of resources there. The knowledge shared aspect of that is just phenomenal. And so, Sylvia, as far as like what's coming down the pipe with that, do you have anything else that you can offer there?
Well, we are still trying to wrap up this video, which shows all of the 4 different divisions in a very illustrated manner and kind of gives an overview in a pictorial way of what all the different divisions do basically and how we all are connected literally. And we're also moving the knowledge base over all of those presentations. So people will be able to, viewers, sorry, will be able to download all this great informative information, use it for teaching, learning. I mean, it's just an amazing amount of information that is stored in there. So we're hoping to bring that to the forefront. Sealing Sense articles are still on the go. We are trying to convert a lot of them into blogs. So hopefully we'll be able to add a blog to the site. And social media is still working hard to get the message out. We are now on Instagram, so please join in and meet us there on Instagram along with our LinkedIn profile.
I love that so much. And all of these changes are based on data. And I know you've been in the background of all of that and just kind of that's some of the things that we've learned on how to present to the group. And so one thing that I have to bring up because this is what I think about on a daily basis now, empowering women in industry. And I am so thrilled to have these women leading within the Fluid Sealing Association. So both Sylvia and Amy are on the board. Of course, Amy is the president this year. This is our first term, and so she's got 2 terms. So definitely support her for the next 2 years. Absolutely. And, you know, just seeing women on the board for me was one of the most rewarding things because I've been a part of the Fluid Sealing Association for a long time now. It is a very male populated industry, not just the organization, but our industries as a whole. And they made a conscious effort, definitely with some of those mentors that were mentioned, to bring women into the committees. And, you know, you're nominated to be on these chair positions. Kathy going from vice chair to chair, that is from your peers and your network that you have built there. And I just thank, you know, all of those men and women that are supporting each other there. So super rewarding, but I will throw this out. I always love to ask just what is it like, you know, being a woman in the industry and kind of in this leadership role? And I'll let our president start.
So, you know, it's interesting. You get asked that, and early on, I didn't think much about it. It was more of a, really? Like, is this not normal? So for me, initially, it didn't seem abnormal, but I think, you know, I started 20 years ago going to Fluid Sealing Association meetings. And like you said, it's a male dominated industry. And a lot of the women weren't there because they weren't in management or leadership roles. You know, female engineers, they weren't as many as you're seeing now. So for me, I just thought it was normal. And that's just how the world is. And then as a very conscious effort was made to bring women in, then you started to maybe recognize, oh, wait a minute, there is something missing here. So, you know, I've never approached anything where I'm a male, female, or this is different. But I will say it's been an honor and, both a little bit frightening and a little bit exciting, a little bit of pressure, but I've had nothing but amazing support from male and female colleagues. So from that standpoint, I can't say enough good things about fluid sealing and where I see them going in the future and, where they've come from in a very quick amount of time. So I think that's actually been really reassuring. And back to, Sylvia and Kathy and mentors along the way for me, whether it be, my business partner, Lloyd Annenson, who, is an engineer, and I'm not. So that's the other part about that's frightening is I'm not the technical person in the group. I'm an accountant, basically. So all the people along the way that have been supportive of me, but also of Sylvia and Kathy, and really in behind the scenes making this kind of come to fruition. So I'm super excited to see where it goes, and I'm so excited to see young women coming in because that's the change that I'm starting to see, and I think we'll see more of that going forward.
We love that. Sylvia, you want to comment?
Oh gosh, I kind of have to summarize back now. She said so many wonderful things. I'm so behind you, Amy. You make it so easy during meetings to participate because it is like a girl thing.
You just get it.
Exactly. I mean, the world is so diverse now. We'll see so much more change, but being pioneer is something to check off on your list, and be proud of. So I really do enjoy that camaraderie and the fact that when we do speak, we are always taken seriously, no matter what sex you are. As long as you have a good intention, good knowledge, something to share, some innovative ideas, I think everybody is really inclusive in that manner. So it is wonderful to have these women and younger people come on board, which is the future, right? So
I love that. Love that. Thank you. Kathy, do you want to comment at all?
Where it's great to have a foot here, and I agree with Sylvia and Amy. It's when you're used to having a more male participant in certain arenas, it's nice that I'm able to be a part of this where I could pass on this to some of the new females that are coming into John Crane. We're getting, with our new engineers, we're getting a nice amount of young ladies that are coming into the group now. I want to be able to pass on this type of atmosphere to them, that in hopes that I could probably recruit them maybe to maybe take my place one day. So it's always great to have women influence in the technical arenas and leadership arenas. I've watched the three of you and how you conduct your meetings and your leadership, and I've learned some things from all three of you. And I really appreciate your leadership and your participation with FSA. Where it's great to have a foot here, and I agree with Sylvia and Amy. It's when you're used to having a more male participant in certain arenas, it's nice that I'm able to be a part of this where I could pass on this to some of the new females that are coming into John Crane. We're getting, with our new engineers, we're getting a nice amount of young ladies that are coming into the group now. I want to be able to pass on this type of atmosphere to them, that in hopes that I could probably recruit them maybe to maybe take my place one day. So it's always great to have women influence in the technical arenas and leadership arenas. I've watched the three of you and how you conduct your meetings and your leadership, and I've learned some things from all three of you. And I really appreciate your leadership and your participation with FSA. Where it's great to have a foot here, and I agree with Sylvia and Amy. It's when you're used to having a more male participant in certain arenas, it's nice that I'm able to be a part of this where I could pass on this to some of the new females that are coming into John Crane. We're getting, with our new engineers, we're getting a nice amount of young ladies that are coming into the group now. I want to be able to pass on this type of atmosphere to them, that in hopes that I could probably recruit them maybe to maybe take my place one day. So it's always great to have women influence in the technical arenas.
So much. I know that everybody has just got all the feels from that. Thank you so much for saying that. And, you know, I think that it's so important that I feel confident in the Fluid Sealing Association and where it has grown over the years to make room for women and make a safe place. I remember, you know, having a presentation on appropriate behavior. Like they are taking the steps for that organization to be a great place for women. And that means so much to me. And so I thank y'all for sharing your expertise. We didn't go into the technical side of sealing, but we have that. And we would definitely want you to learn about it, learn how the equipment can be used to help solve your problems. But also if you're in the industry, if you make or part of a company that deals with sealing, we want to hear from you. We'd love you to be a part of it. We'd love you to be a guest at one of the meetings. And so if you are thinking about it, reach out to one of these women and ask. They'll be, you know, welcoming and give you kind of some of those behind the scenes things and how to get involved. And so I thank you. I thank the FSA for, you know, making a spot for me back in the day when I was just starting my company and, you know, becoming a marketing chair. What happened there? But I enjoy it. I love, again, the strategic planning meetings, the government affairs. And I can't leave without saying a thank you to my number one, Mike Glasses, who is the reason why I was part of the FSA. He was my client at the time. Him and Ed kind of said, hey, you need to come and be a part of this group. We see potential in you. And that's really what kickstarts a lot of these careers. So listen, if you're hearing that and somebody suggests that you should be involved or you should say yes to one of those chair positions next time, there's a reason for that. And I appreciate everybody who has helped us along the way. So many, I can't go into all the names. So thank you, everybody. And until next time, be empowering. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Charlie. Thanks, everybody.